Hello friends and welcome back to a brand new episode of Popcorn Podcast with Leigh and Tim as we step into the ring to review Sydney Sweeney's latest film, Christy. I'm Timmy Flan, film expert.
And I'm Leigh Livingstone, entertainment journalist.
And we love to talk all things movies.
Okay, in Christy, it follows the life of groundbreaking boxer Christy Martin and her rapid rise from small-town coal miner's daughter to international success, all while she navigates the complicated combination of fame, fortune, and personal tragedy.
Christy is directed by David Michôd, who has brought us the film Animal Kingdom, absolutely brilliant movie.
Oh, amazing.
From a screenplay by Michôd and his wife Mira Fawkes, who brought us one of our favourite films very early on in the podcast, Judy and Punch.
Yeah, great film. Such great Australian filmmakers.
Yeah.
I love that. Christy stars Sydney Sweeney, Ben Foster, Merritt Weaver, Katie O'Brien, Ethan Embry, and Jess Gabor.
I'm going to start here. I literally knew nothing of Christy.
Right, yeah.
Or her story, her impact to women's sports. But I'm so glad this film exists because what a life lived.
It's such an important story to tell too when you finally realise the full extent of it.
I was living it out in real time and all these Jengas, I'm like, holy shit.
And what a trailblazer that she was for women's sport.
Yes.
Yeah, it's less a traditional rise and fall sport biopic though.
Yes.
It's more a story of survival.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is a survivor in many facets of the definition of that word.
So the movie begins as this underdog boxing drama before it mutates into what director David Michôd has described as a very real horror story. And that's very accurate,
Yes.
rooted in intimate partner violence and identity repression.
Do you know what? I really like that description that it becomes a horror story because even not in the sensational sense that you may think horror story, Scream, but just the way that it's shot and framed and that you are the audience are positioned in the third act of the movie and you're like, oh my God, get me out of here.
Yep. And in that third act, it comes like a sucker punch.
Yes.
Excuse
it is
the
fucking explosive.
pun. It is. And they've done that on purpose, but I am going to dive in and say it was a little bit to the detriment of this story because it starts off so strong.
Yeah.
It starts out really well, but I felt it lost a bit of power in understanding the devolution of Christy's confidence and her sense of self because she starts out so sure of who she is, having to hide it, of course, because
that she's a lesbian.
She's a lesbian. She's interested in women. Her family is not accepting. It's the 80s, so the community is not accepting either.
And she's an elite sports person.
Yes, but she knows who she is in the beginning.
Yes.
Right? There are so many time jumps in this film that it skips over such large chunks of the evolution of her relationship with her husband and her trainer, her family, what's working against her in the world.
And her relationship with the sport that she loves and is so good at. Like, where is she at professionally as well?
And so I kind of felt it went from A to Z, but skipped a lot of letters in between, if that makes sense.
Probably, I feel exactly the same way. I think the pacing of this movie was exceptional at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it had to cover a lot of ground because...
And that's what's hard.
Yeah, from a linear sense, you need to get to 2010 because that's when some really significant things in her life take place.
Yeah, so it's a 30-year period you've got to cover, which is really hard to do. It is hard.
1989 to 2010 is huge.
I acknowledge that. It's really hard to do. But I think you need to, I guess, decide, what this film is about.
Yes.
And it comes out very clearly saying that this film is not a boxing underdog movie. It's a movie about Christy and what she's up against and what she went through in her life. So show us what she went through in her life.
Yes. Don't just go from 2003 to 2010 in one big leap.
Yes. They show us the intimate partner violence that she's dealing with, but not until the end when it's really bad and it's about to explode. And you think, surely there was indications before this. Why did you... No, okay, that's dangerous territory. Not why did you stay, because there is a lot of psychological manipulation that happens when a woman is coerced by their partner and abused by their partner.
And Jim is one of the worst.
But I wanted them to show us that.
Yes. Well,
not just tell us at the end.
Yeah, I guess you just wanted to just connect more deeply into her experience.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And hold her hand through that.
Yes.
Because you are always on her side, even when she becomes the cocky boxer that...
She's very arrogant.
Very arrogant. But she's quite unassuming at the beginning, which is really endearing. And then she gets a taste, when she's under the management, I guess, of Don King.
Yeah.
So, you get that sort of boxing trope stuff in there.
Which you have to have.
And it's who she was, I guess. More on the pacing and, I guess, the jarring of it. It also was how they successfully or not successfully visually indicated that. Other than the ongoing hairstyle changes that Christy had, there weren't really any other distinguishing prompts other than the year on the screen that made you believe that time period had happened. And you ask, how do we get here? I really feel like we could have lent more into the things that you've already highlighted.
There are such important themes running through this film, like, the sexuality, control, survival, and all the horrible things that happened to her that you see at the end and hear about. And there's even a narration tool at the very end of the film where Sydney Sweeney, as Christy, fills in the blanks. Yeah. And so I feel like it's that which
is a problem.
It's that tripping up of show don't tell.
Yeah.
And so they're having to tell you everything at the end to make sure you got it all, which is a problem.
Voiceovers, agree. Voiceovers are effective and they're important. But when it feels instantly like, well, they have to tell us this because they didn't show it. Yeah. That's when it's not as successful in the medium of film. There was also some really deep, and, with myself being queer, identify as gay, that internalized homophobia. Yes. The self-hatred. Yes. It eats away at you.
We needed to see more of that internal journey, I think. Because as I said, she started off strong. She started off knowing that's who she was and that she was interested in women and that it was okay by her to be that way, even if no one else was accepting it. Yes. She wasn't out and proud. She was keeping it quiet because she had to. But then something changed over the years. Yeah. And it became, like you said, internalized homophobia. And
she was trapped.
She was trapped. And people were obviously probably telling her it was wrong and using it as a weapon against her.
Oh, 100%.
But we didn't see any of that.
Yeah, I agree. There was just that emotional gap. Yeah. And that building block that if that was in here, it would have been just an even more successful film than I think it is, because the reaction to this film hasn't been great. The box office return has been dismal. And it's a real shame because there is a good, powerful film with incredible performances in here and an amazing story.
Yes, a very important story, as I keep saying, to be told. Like this is a real person who went through these real things, and it's incredibly important for other women to see that she's come out on the other side. Yes. And that somebody as strong as her physically can be coerced like that and can be abused like that. Like, we needed to see it. We needed to see the journey.
Agree.
But Sydney Sweeney's performance, her transformation into Christy.
Yeah, holy hell.
Incredible. Months-long physical training, twice daily boxing, sparring, conditioning. She did the work. She put the work in. So they built the character from the inside out, basically.
Look, even with the gaps that we've talked about missing, she's so amazing in this.
She's really good.
Like, not only physically, but just like how you see her become that survivor ultimately. And it is absolutely transformative performance. I just stumbled across this piece of trivia, which I find utterly bizarre. In 2018, Amy Schumer announced that she was interested in playing Christy.
Right, okay.
In a planned biopic that never came about. I just cannot see that at all.
I could see it.
You can?
I don't know performance-wise, but I think if she would put in the work, like, it wouldn't be it. I mean, how many comedians, look at Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems, like how many comedians have transformed into these incredible dramatic roles by putting in the work.
You're right.
And so changing minds. They can do it.
I'm now, with that, kind of curious as to what she would have done with the role. It would have been incredibly unexpected. But I guess we won't get that. We got Sydney Sweeney. I'm happy about that.
Sydney Sweeney is unexpected too.
That's
when you
not
think
wrong.
about the roles that she's done. She's a romantic comedy queen. She's very
tormented teenager
in Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Yeah, it's a very different performance than we've seen from her, and a fantastic one.
Absolutely incredible.
Ben Foster as Jim Martin, her husband and trainer. You didn't even recognize him. I had to tell you who he was.
I spent probably the first half an hour of this movie going, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
He looks familiar, but I couldn't place it. And then, I had to tap you on the shoulder. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, he's unrecognizable. But apparently his commitment to staying in character on set was really unsettling for the real Christy Martin.
Oh, so he went method.
Yep. The real Jim Martin has died. Because he's quite a bit older than her.
Yeah.
But repugnant. His performance is absolutely incredible.
He is the definition of a narcissist in that when a man is emasculated, when their ego is bruised because of a woman, but not because of a woman, but because you're an awful human being and you cannot come to terms with someone that you apparently love or you married, and you're pushing her to success, you cannot handle that success because it's not yours. Like, that is just horrendous.
Yep.
I couldn't shake the unsettlement of just how fucking vulgar he was in how he looked at her and his just deadpan reaction with things, and then the explosiveness that came out of nowhere.
But I think there weren't enough moments for him to lean into that explosiveness. Like, he could have been a lot more sinister. I mean, he was disgusting. He was awful. It was like, like that definitely came across. And I don't think it's anything to do with the performance, but I think the material wasn't there for him to really lean into why we should be afraid of Jim Martin.
Yeah, I agree. The performance could have shone even stronger with those gaps being filled.
Yeah, with those scenes.
Yeah.
We got some supporting performances. We mentioned Merritt Weaver. She's always fantastic in everything she does. She's Christy's mother, who's just awful. Sorry, but...
Don't apologise. Yeah. What an horrendous human being.
Yeah, and Christy turns to her for help and she just goes, you sound crazy. Like, your husband, she's very much like the husband... is the leader of the family, default to him, and Jim has set up this relationship with her family behind her back where he's manipulating them.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of Ethan Embry as her dad and what role he played in that, because
there was empathy there.
There was empathy, but he was nowhere to be found.
And I really love that actor. I'm a huge fan of his work in Grace and Frankie.
That thing you do?
Yes. And I agree. I probably wanted to see more of the dad because I couldn't stand seeing the mum as often as we did.
Yeah.
Because she made me so,
the blood boils.
Oh.
Everything that came out of her mouth and the way she talked, that soft-spoken meanness.
Yes, and slightly high-pitched. Oh, no. Well, I'm just going to talk to you like that. And I'm like, oh, my God. I just hated her as a character. And Merritt's performance, was so memorable in this for all the wrong reasons, but the right ones.
Let's just talk quickly about the production design before we move on, and the banging soundtrack, the 80s soundtrack and the 90s soundtrack.
It starts straight away.
It wasn't overpowering. It just let you know what time period we were in.
It was 1989. Boom. This is where we are. This is the song. Boxing montage. Bust a move. Boom. This is where we are.
Yeah.
We're in the early 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
So good. Such a great soundtrack.
But as we said, it's having to span a wide range of decades, 30 years. And even in the production design, they've done that too. They've had to go from Las Vegas, the fight culture, to Central Florida and the boxing gym that they own. I think North Carolina actually doubled for a lot of states, but...
It was very successful. I mean, there are some fun pieces of production design that encapsulate Christy as a character and her personality, I guess, as a boxer. That pink BMW convertible was such a vibe.
Such a vibe. A lot of Christy Martin's personal memorabilia was incorporated into the film.
That's fantastic. She's in the movie and you pointed her out.
They always do that though, don't they? I mean, they did it better than they did in The Smashing Machine, which we didn't talk much about because that's another boxing not boxing, but...
Well, UFC. He's a UFC fighter. So I haven't seen it, but okay, you've now seen two of these similar ilk type movies. How do they compare? Is it fair to compare?
I don't think it is because, the Smashing Machine it's more about physical dominance and the cost of trying to be the best, I guess.
Because it's so brutal.
Yes. They only touch on that a little bit in Christy because that's not what the film is about. This is more about a female pioneer navigating a male-dominated sport, changing it for the better.
And finding her identity.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be about. So I don't think the Smashing Machine was very successful. I've said before, I think Dwayne Johnson's performance was amazing, like transformative. It's definitely a career best. But the film itself, I don't think they went the right way with it.
Yeah. I'm dying to see
It's
it.
putting this character up on a pedestal that I just don't think he
doesn't deserve to be up there.
Whereas Christy maybe does. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely does.
Absolutely does. Yeah.
I want to call out just in terms of the creative choices of this movie. There was one particular scene. You mentioned Vegas before. This is a professional Vegas fight. And the choices in music with the choir, it made it feel like the ring was the temple of a fighter, like a place of worship. It was very impactful.
And that's something they do very well. Like you have to get those boxing scenes to be dynamic, visceral, like you're right there in the ring with the boxers, and it definitely succeeds in that.
Absolutely, yeah.
It did that very well. Shall we wrap up our review of Christy?
Let us do that.
You go ahead, my friend.
Boxing films always hit different, and despite this being one of the countless within the genre, it carves out an important point of difference. The experience of a woman who endured an incredible amount of turmoil, abuse, and self-loathing is at the emotional core of the film, paired with all the tropes of a boxing film audiences have grown to love. Sydney Sweeney is excellent with powerful performances from Ben Foster and a vitriolic turn from Merritt Weaver, who will make your blood run both hot and cold. Better than I was expecting and worth a trip to the cinema to see.
Well said, Tim. Sydney Sweeney and Ben Foster's performances are the strongest assets of this biopic that is such an important story to tell. What happened to Christy Martin and what she did for the sport is compelling and shocking, but the movie skims the surface and leaves the aspects that should have been in focus more clearly on the mat.
I'm so glad that we saw this film and we're reviewing it because I kind of want people to know that it's good and you should go and see it.
Yes, you should, yes.
Because it just died an awful death in the States when it was released.
And it's such a shame. It is a real shame. I agree.
Well, Christy is in Australian cinemas, friends, from January 8.
And that's it for another episode of Popcorn Podcast.
We're done.
Season 16.
Oh, yeah, baby. Feels good.
We're off and running.
We are. It's always a privilege to have you join us.
We'll catch you next time. Come and join in the conversation about the latest movies. You can follow us and share your film thoughts with us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Letterboxd.